So one of the things that, again, remember the year-long theme, overall theme, has been about love. And one of the things that I think is uh, kind of been on my mind and in my heart a lot is, with all the turmoil going on, it's happening around the world in different ways in which countries operate, people who are being oppressed, people who are trying to get away from bad situations but are not being accepted in other places. So many people who are hungry and don't have shelter, all of those things. And it's been weighing on. And so one of the things that I realized that in terms of looking at my practice and my philosophy, and how do I support myself, because it's, again, things are, as always, going to be in flux. Look at like maintaining my clear sight, my clear looking at in connection with this wisdom. And so a big part of the yoga nidra we did on Monday was in that, let's go deep. Let's do these practices that can really help us get closer to that wisdom. You all have practiced long enough. You've probably had those inklings of it. Some of you may even be able to sustain it for longer periods than I can. And especially when I allow my mind to get captivated by whether it be world events or something in my family or whatever it is, it seems to be harder for me to find that connection. So part of it is, how do I continue to have clarity? Like to see the world for what it is and what I can do and what I can't do, and to be able to be in an okay place with that. So our meditation this morning, as we get grounded, well, I'm going to ask you a question during that meditation, and I want you to pay attention for you, because I want to ask you afterwards. What are the first 3 words that come to you after you ponder that question? So let's get comfortable. Find your comfy meditation seat. Do any little movements that are going to help you be able to be in the seat for a couple more minutes. And as you find and connect with this position, again, paying a little bit of attention to the body, a little bit of attention to any movements that might help you be able to find that comfort and stay in that comfort. As you get up and if you feel comfortable closing the eyes, close the eyes. If that's not comfortable, just a soft gaze. Taking a few nice full breaths and feeling perhaps a softening of the jaw and an audible sound as you exhale. Doing this a few times. Using this perhaps as a tool to release some things that will keep you from being present. Coming into this place of relative stillness, awareness, of course, of the body, and that observation, appreciation of your body as it is in this moment. An observation of your mind, an appreciation of how the mind is in this moment. An observation of the breath and how the breath is in this moment. and an observation of the energy body and how that is in this moment. Now I'm going to ask you a question, and as much as possible, try to bring your awareness right now down into that heart space, that connection with your wisdom. And see if the answers that come to you can arise from not just the thinking mind, but partly this connection with your wisdom as well. And here is the question. What helps you see with clarity? Be aware of the first three things that come to you. Make note of them. Now, of those three things, take one of them that you would like to use consistently in your practice this morning. As we work on this practice of staying well grounded in clarity. Let that be part of your intention this morning. And if there is anyone, any place, any entity in the world you would like to dedicate this practice to, letting that seed be planted to grow inside your heart as well. Then as you're ready, bringing your palms together to the heart. And to open, we'll chant 3 Uchara Oms. Exhaling. And inhale. And we practice together. Some warm-ups and stuff. But what I want to show you is we're going to do a little on-the-ground sun salutation. So as my knee has been hurting me, I've had some days in my practice where it's not been that comfortable for me to stand up and do a whole lot of stuff. So I started looking at what can I do, both, on the chair, sitting like I do on my mat, but also lying down on my back because that felt best. So after we do some warm-ups, we're going to come onto our back. And of course, we're going to start off in tree pose. So I'm not tree pose.
I don't know where you.
Mountain pose. So we'll find our mountain pose. You're going to be in the way we focus. And we'll start up and do this just like we do a normal sun salutation, except we're on the ground. So arms overhead. I can reach out through there. Now forward fold, we can do a couple ways. We can do with knees in. You can do it maybe as if you were doing it with your knees bent and maybe try to lift your head towards your legs. Or even straighten your legs. or keep your back down and just do a stretch of the hamstrings. So that's our forward bend. Then we're going to come back. We're going to do a one-legged lunge. So this leg comes out straight. This leg I'm going to hug in. And then we're going to do like we're doing the kneeling lunge pose of Anjaneyasana. So I'll take my arms up over it. And then we're going to, instead of stepping back into Warrior Two, we're going to bring this front leg out. Now watch my hips. I'm going to actually bring my hips over, like my hips normally angle. So this hip comes off the ground. And then I'm only going to take this leg back in my Warrior Two position to a place where it doesn't feel comfortable for me to do that on the ground. So I make some adjustments because this side's a little wonky. This knee feels comfortable on the ground. And then we take the arms out in our Warrior Two position. Now from Warrior Two, I actually, the other day, we're practicing with, did I do triangle pose on the ground? This little back leg is a little cranky, but my front leg is straight. And then I can do that side bend like a triangle pose, Trikonasana. And then I come back up. I'm going to bend this knee. It's like we're doing a side angle. So I'm just going to bring my hand onto this knee and then bring this arm up and try to reach up through this arm and out through my back heel. There we go. If I really lift that hip, I can get that, which also tells me how much my hips angle in this. And then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back to center. All right. And then how would I do a plank pose? All right. How about like that? So there's my plank pose.
I want to see you do a push-up.
My arms are pretty active, so I feel it in my chest and my back. And then how would I do an up dog? Well, guess what? We have this position. There's my up dog. Now, how am I going to do my down dog? Well, I like this one with my knees bent and then take my arms a little bit more like that. Now, you could lift your legs. It's a lot more strenuous to do it like this. I'm just telling you. And my back has also been a little cranky, which has been part of my practice too. And then we'll go and we'll do the other side. Right? So I just wanted you to be able to see, because once you're lying down, you're not going to be able to see me and know where am I going to be doing it. We're going to be practicing a sun salutation on the ground. All right?
Something new?
So here we go. So come on onto your mat.
Here, you're just going to talk it through. You're not going to do the
right. I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to talk you through it because then I can be looking at you all and say, here, try this, try this. Yep. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put you over to the side.
Yep. That'd be great. Come on onto your back and have your strap handy. And the first thing we're going to do on our back is to just give yourself a couple of those apanasanas where you're drawing your knees in and out. Elbow. Here we go.
Oh.
And what I'm also going to do for you too is I'm going to give you a little blankets off to the side since we're going to be taking our legs off to the side. All right, give yourself a little rocking and rolling. Asking your body, all right, body, what else do I want? Warm up a little bit. So some of you may feel like you want to do a little mini kind of pelvic tilts up and down. I'm going to get an extra one. So you may even want to plant your feet down onto the mat and just do a couple lifting up and down. Like little mini baby bridge poses. Or even little mini twists. Whatever it is, again, as we're here down on the ground, what is my back saying to me right now? And at this point, I'm just going to remind you, what is it that you said you want to commit to doing during this practice to help you stay with clarity? Because a big part of our practice is being in that clarity as we do our physical portions of yoga. All right. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to have you just take and hug in one of your knees. The other leg could be extended out straight, or you could keep that other foot on the ground. And just bring that knee in, hug it in nice. And then if it's comfortable, take your hand that's that same side leg, everyone's on their right, and just open it out to the side a little bit. Maybe extend your left arm out to the left. And then bring it back in. And just do that a couple times. Be aware of the sacrum in the back of your body and try to just feel that your sacrum stays fairly well balanced as you do this. And then once this is comfortable, just see if your leg is okay with doing a little bit of circling maybe, and then maybe in that other direction. Good. Feeling okay, everyone? Mm-hmm. Good. All right. So go ahead and bring that foot back down to the mat. And again, you can either extend that leg out straight. We're going to do the same thing with your other side, with your left side. Bringing that knee up at first, and maybe with both arms on front of that leg, just draw it in. Left hips turn. And then eventually just your left hand on that leg, maybe the right hand out to the side, and just opening and bringing it back up and doing that a couple times. Seeing how this hip's feeling, staying in clarity in our practice. Keeping the sacrum, trying to keep that evenly grounded on the two sides. And then giving yourself, maybe if it feels comfortable, some circling motions with that hip. If it's helpful to keep that hand on it, keep the hand on it. If you want to do it without the hand, that's fine too. Just depends on the level of effort that you want to put into it. Be clear with what is right for you right now. And then after you've done that, go ahead and bring that foot down to the ground. Now I'm going to ask you to grab onto your strap. And this is the Supta Padangusthasana series. We haven't done this for a while. You're going to take the strap, put it around the bottom of your right foot. Now the nice thing about this is a great way to feel a nice stretch in the back of our legs without having to have our whole body weight coming down into a forward bend. So just imagine you're doing a forward bend, but with this just one leg, and find how far you want to go. Be clear with yourself how much you want to stretch the back of this leg, how it feels right. Does it feel good to ground both sides of your sacrum? And then perhaps think about how involved you want your arms and upper body to be. Do you want to extend your arms straight and then use the arm strength to really draw down and then also push up more with your foot? All of those are possibilities. Where is it along that spectrum that you and your clarity know you want to be today? What is the right place for all of you? Good. We're going to now move to where we're going to take it into Supta 2, which is taking this foot now out to the right. So just like you did a moment ago when you had that knee bent, now with the leg extended and that strap supporting you, just see how far you want to go, how much that sacrum might move or not. If you want to extend the left arm out to the side, as you then take your arm and that leg in the strap out to the right. Breathing into it, or you can move in and out of it a couple times. Again, use your clarity. What is best for me in this moment? And just keep listening to that. When you're ready, we'll come back up. And here's where you're going to take the strap now into that left hand. And then you're going to take that leg across your body, coming into a twist. Some of you are be able to bring that leg all the way over to the left on the ground. Some of you are going to find, I don't want to go that far. Maybe reaching that right arm out to the other side. Breathing into this. And again, you can always move in and out or stay here for some breaths. Finding and feeling again the sense of clarity. Staying in my clarity right here. I'm using my tool. One more breath. And then as gently as you want, bring that leg back up. If it's better, you can always bend that knee first and then bring it back up straight. And then go ahead and take the strap off of the leg and just let your leg come back and down to the ground. Hug that right knee in for a moment. And if and only if it's comfortable, take your left hand around your heel, keep your right hand on your knee, and then kind of start to cross that leg a little bit over your body, like you were doing pigeon pose on the ground. Just take a couple breaths there. And then you're going to relax that leg down, stretch it out on the floor. Find your, I'm doing Tadasana on the floor, I'm doing mountain pose on the floor, and notice the feeling of difference in the two legs, the two hips, perhaps even the two sides of your back. And then we're going to start to draw that left leg in, bringing that up. We're going to put the strap around the bottom of the left leg. You want it shut off?
Yeah.
Let me turn it down. See how that feels. I haven't seen mosquitoes, but I'm sure with our rain there's. Once again, now let's go through the same clarity and time on this side. Feeling in the back of this leg. Again, where do I want to be with this? How much or how little of the stretch in the back of my left leg is good for me right now, is valuable for me? Let me be clear with this. How much effort do you want to put into the arms on the strap? How much of this straightening or not straightening of the leg is going to feel really yummy and perfect for your body in this moment? 1 or 2 more breaths. And then remember, we're going to take it out to the side. So you're going to take the strap into your left hand, and you're going to start to open that leg out to the side. Now the knee could be bent, just like we did before. It could be out straight. How much does that work for you going out to the side? Trying to maybe ground through the sacrum on this. Some of the time, I cannot keep that sacrum down, and it doesn't feel right to. So is it okay for your sacrum to come up a little bit on that right side? Breathe into it. Find again just this right place. Clarity is working for me, and I'm letting go of the judgment of how it needs to be. I see myself more clearly than anyone from the outside. 1 or 2 more breaths. Yeah. And then when you're ready to bring it up, either bringing it up straight if that feels good, or maybe bending that knee to then bring it up to center. We're going to take the strap over to the other hand, to your right hand, and here's where we cross it over the body. So that right leg stretches out on the ground, and then we start to bring the left leg over, coming into a spinal twist. And again, it might feel like you can come all the way over and onto the ground. It might feel better to keep it up a little higher. Might feel better to keep that knee bent a little bit. Just finding where this one is at today. Breathing into it for maybe 1, 2, or 3 more breaths. How about use both legs, bend both knees. Whenever it is that you are ready to come out of this twist, you can always stay a little longer if you're really liking it. Starting to again come back to center. And once you're back to center, you can take that strap off of the left foot. And again, bringing your left knee into the body, and then perhaps taking your right hand around that left heel and bringing that leg like you're doing pigeon pose, but on your back. Just notice, holding for maybe a couple breaths in this position. And then you're going to release that leg and let it go out straight on. And find again your mountain pose on your back. So just take a few breaths here in mountain pose and just notice how all of your body is feeling in this position, doing this form of mountain pose right now. Notice, and with clarity, how does the back of my body touch the ground in this? Do I want to make any adjustments? Does it feel right and comfortable for me right now? Returning back, bringing your hands now to the heart. And here we are at the beginning of our sun salutation on the floor. And so remembering your intention, what of clarity will you come to during this practice? And to whom are you dedicating this? As you're ready, go ahead and extend your arms up and overhead, finding Urdhva Hastasana on the floor. Now your arms may not be comfortable coming all the way to the floor, and that's okay. Maybe cactus position is easier for your shoulders or your arms. But just find this position for a couple more breaths here. How much of your body is wanting to be active and how much are you wanting to relax into this? Good. For our forward bend, we're going to start to bring the arms down and first draw both knees into your body. So you're hugging both knees in and feel that nice stretch perhaps of your low back here, which is a part of our forward bend. And then make your decision. I can stay here with both knees bent in and just maybe even lift my head a little bit, try to draw my head towards my knees. Or you could start to lift your heels a little bit more towards the ceiling as if you were doing a bent knee forward bend. Or you could start to reach your heels up towards the ceiling, like you're doing a straight leg forward bend, and maybe even lift your head up. One more breath. Good. And then we're going to start to keep that right knee drawing in toward your body and extend your left leg back down on the ground. We're coming into our version of kneeling lunge right now. So you can keep that knee in, right in close to your body, or you could take that knee a little bit farther away from your body and plant your foot as if you were planting it on the ground. And then if you want, take your arms up overhead again like you were doing Anjaneyasana. Maybe even feeling the back of your pelvis lightly lifting off the ground, your sit bones digging into the earth a little bit more in that light back bend that Anjaneyasana can be. Good. And then we're going to bring the hands down, and you're going to start to take this right leg out to the side, and we're going to imitate Warrior Two position. So your right knee bends, and you're going to just draw that knee down towards the ground. Now, if your left hip lifts up, that's fine. Let that right knee come down to the ground if it's comfortable coming down to the ground or fairly close to the ground. And then maybe that left leg extends out a little bit more towards the side, and maybe a light, as that left hip lifts, turning that hip towards the right, and then extend the arms out to the side. And here we are in our Warrior Two on the ground. Now again, let yourself use some clarity here. How much do I kind of want to press my body into the ground, or how much do I want to relax my warrior leg? Breathe into it, explore for another breath or two. Good. Now we're going to imitate our triangle pose. So just stretch out that right leg as if you're doing triangle. Left leg might need to adjust a little bit. And then just as we were doing triangle, try to do a little side bend. Start to take your hand down towards your leg. Might come all the way. It might just go a little ways. And extend your left arm away from your right arm. Maybe turn your head just slightly towards that bottom leg. Or keep looking at the ceiling, whatever's most comfortable. Good. And then we're going to come back. We're going to bend that knee again. And then you're going to take your hand to the inside of your leg, your right leg. And then imagine that we're doing extended side angles. So let your left arm come up and over your body, reaching out through that left heel and up through the left fingertips. Beautiful. Good. Side angle. One more breath. And then releasing that arm down. Good. Now we're going to lift up that right leg. And you're once again going to draw both of those knees in. We're going to come back into, just for a moment, a little forward bend. Draw both knees in. Hug them in. Now, if it's comfortable, we're going to find our plank pose on our back. Extend the legs back out. Reach your arms up towards your ceiling at chest level. So legs are on the ground. Bring your legs on down, Lillian. That's it. Plank position. Beautiful, strong women in our plank. Can your arms feel as though they're doing some of the work here? And then start to draw your elbows toward your sides. Imagine you're lowering yourself down. Good. Now keep your elbows on the floor and lightly press your elbows down and lift your chest. Reach down into your heels like you're doing a little miniature fish pose. Our back bend. That's it. And then down dog, there's a lot of options. You could just come back to drawing your knees in. You could bend your feet, put your feet on the floor, and then take your hands about halfway between Urdhva Hastasana and plank position, up in the air. That's it. Or you can just keep those legs drawn in, or you can take your legs off the ground if you wanted to. One more breath. Good. Now go ahead and hug both of the knees in. Take your arms around your knees. How's that feel?
Good. Yeah, it was a little difficult with this hip, but I think the other side will be a little.
All right. We're going to go now to the left side. So first, we're going to keep that left knee drawn in this time and extend your right leg out on the mat, like we're doing our kneeling lunge. So hug that left knee in for a moment. And then you're going to start to release the heel out a little bit, maybe the thigh. And then choose here. You can either keep your hands down at your side or reach them up again overhead. And maybe lift the back of the top of your sacrum a little bit. Draw your sit bones down towards the ground a little bit in that light back bend that is Anjaneyasana. One more breath. Good, ladies. And then go ahead and bring your hands down to your hip. Now, here's where we're going to take the left leg now out to the side. So bringing that left leg out to the side and maybe that heel as if you were standing now in Warrior Two with the left leg. So again, if that right hip comes off the ground here in order to come into this position, that's okay. If it feels like that left leg just not ever going to go down, you could always bunch up a blanket or bolster or put it underneath there. Extend out through that right leg, however it might feel comfortable to do this on the ground. And then take the arms out to the side. And find Virabhadrasana 2, your Warrior 2. Clarity. Staying in my clarity. So I don't have to make it look exactly like it does when I'm standing on the ground on my legs. I want to feel the same aspects of this warrior position in my body. How might I do that? Let yourself have the freedom to do that. 1, 2, or 3 more breaths in your Warrior 2 to this side. When it starts to feel like it's time for you to come up and out of it, again, we're going to try our Trikonasana, our triangle pose on this side. So lift up and straighten that left leg. And now here, just starting to gently do a little side bend. Maybe you're going to touch that leg. Maybe you won't. Finding your left arm reaching down towards your leg and your right arm reaching up and away from your left arm. Beautiful. And take a few breaths here. Again, clarity of how my Trikonasana is working here. When it's time and you're ready, we're once again, that left knee is going to bend. You may draw it up a little bit more. And we're going to come into side angle. So your left hand is going to come to the inside of that leg. And then we're going to bring the right arm up and overhead and get this stretching on the right side body. Reaching out through that heel, lifting up through the right fingertips. A side angle here. Variation of Parsava Konasana. 1, 2, or 3 more breaths here. And again, depending on how many breaths you want to hold that, you'll just gently start to bring yourself up, come back to center, and draw both knees up and into your body. Hug them in. Give yourself perhaps a little wiggle, wiggle side to side. And then you're going to set your feet back down on the ground. Stretch your legs out. Reach your arms up and overhead. And here we are in our Urdhva Hastasana, arms overhead position. Feel your spine elongating. And then gently bring your hands back and down to your heart. And check in. How am I doing with my mission in staying in clarity and finding the ways in which to try to maintain clarity in these different approaches to postures that you know really well? The monkeys are off there howling at us. All right, go ahead and softly open your eyes, relax your arms. How would that feel?
I think it was good to made me get into normal, like it made me think about what I was doing.
Cool.
So yeah, it was good to my body.
Yep, it's new and different.
I definitely need a shot of oil in the low back hip section, but
all right.
Maybe that helped.
How was it for you, Lillian? Gravity is much different.
Totalmente.
Pam, how about for you? I see you getting.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. That was just what I needed. So, although when I thought I was doing really well on my clarity and calmness, and then when you said something about clarity, and I realized that I wasn't doing Trikonasana, I was doing the side angle. I went, oh, I guess I clear the whole time.
That's all right. Your body was already there. Okay. Well, we're now going to come up. If you want to come up, you could always stay on the ground if you want. But we're going to come up and just do a couple more things now in the chair. So go ahead and bring yourself over onto your side. If you want to transition through hands and knees or however it is that you want to come up. Some of you may even want to transition through a down dog or something like that. And then we're going to bring our chair towards the front of your mat and actually the chair seat. Okay, and have your blocks also with you. Got our blocks and our chair. And we're going to sit towards the front of the chair. Now, we've done chair sun salutations before where you actually use the chair like you're bringing the ground up to you. This is a chair sun salutation where we actually stay with our rear end on the chair. But I would just want to show you something real quick before we start to kind of go into the flow of it, is we are going to turn and we're going to do warrior two. So what I want to show you is that on the chair seat, so my rear end is up towards the front of the chair. I'm not in the back of the chair. I'm not leaning back. Warrior two for me, when I turn to that side, so say I'm turning to this side, which is my right side, I'm going to get just that sit bone on the chair, and then part of my thigh is supported by the chair, but my left sit bone comes off the chair seat, all right? And then I take the leg back like that. That's the only way that it's comfortable for me to do a warrior two. I can't keep both sit bones on the chair. I don't know haven't met anybody who can. So we're going to do our warrior two like that, like this, all right? What you guys in this room can see, Pam, you may not be able to tell because of where I've got this, is that I'm kind of angling. I'm not like even with the chair seat. Even with the chair seat would be like this. I'm kind of like an angle like this because it makes it more comfortable for my back rear butt cheek to be off the seat, all right? So it ends up kind of at an angle, right? So just wanted you to see that. We'll then go into, after we do that, after we do our side angle seated, we're then going to go into warrior one. Some people find then, because then what I shift is, I then bring the toes down, is that this actually creates a pretty strong back bend already. So even though on your legs you may fully be up like this, for some of you, you may find that you want to stay in a warrior one like this, so it's not as intense of a curve in your low back. All right, I'll give you those options, but I just wanted you to kind of see that before we go. All right.
Mary, your audio is perfectly clear, which is great. Oh, now you just moved. Oh, were you in that same pose all that time? But I just couldn't see your mouth.
I was moving. I was moving off to the side like this to show all of this.
I saw that. We're
okay.
Okay. I'll just do the best we can.
All right. Okay. So we're actually going to start off the sun salutation. I'm going to have you keep some space in between your knees so that as we go from our lifting up and we come forward, if you have the ability, you can come down lower. You're also going to want to have your blocks in case for some of you, you want to come down with just hands on blocks. All right. So have your blocks either towards the outside edges of your feet or the inside edges of your feet if you think you're going to really want to use them. But I have my legs a little wider than my hips. This is going to be my mountain pose position. Here we go. That's why you couldn't see me, because it was deciding to cut out. All right. We're back. Okay. So we're going to start our chair salutation. Sitting here, arms can be either on your legs or they could be down at your side, however they feel comfortable. Closing your eyes for a moment and feeling yourself really grounding down through the feet, through the sit bones, connecting with the earth, connection with your body, your mind, your breath, your energy. What you are using today for your practice of clarity. And then as you're ready, bringing your hands to your heart to remind yourself of that intention you set, to remind yourself of who you're dedicating this practice to. Then as you're ready, release the hands down, and if it's comfortable, the second posture is Urdhva Astasana, lifting up and arising with the arms. Good. Now we're going to add a light twist into this one. So on an inhale or exhale, we're going to lightly turn to your right. Hold for a whole breath. Come back through center. Lightly turn to the left. Hold for a breath. And then come back through center. Now we're going to take it into forward bend. So folding yourself forward and deciding you could stay even with your hands on your legs. You could bring your hands down to blocks, whatever dimension, or possibly all the way to the floor. You could relax the back of your neck, or you can stay with a flat spine position. Just feel again with clarity, where is it that is right exactly for you in this moment? Now we're going to come up part way, and we're going to take the left elbow onto the left leg, And we're going to again do a light twist by taking that right arm either on that knee and lifting the right shoulder or lifting the right arm up into the air, up and away, and hold again for a breath. And then bring it back down. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Right elbow to the right leg. Again, maybe just that left hand on the knee and lifting up through that shoulder, or lifting the left arm up in the air away from the right. Holding for another full breath. And then again, releasing it back and down. Use both hands on your knees to lift the body back and up. And we're going to go and we're going to have our left leg be our front leg to start off with. So maybe move that brick and bring that left leg out to the side and then adjust your body so your left sit bone is on the chair seat, but your right sit bone is not. And then extend possibly back through that right leg, finding the position that your legs would say, this is a warrior two, but in a chair. Then find the orientation of your pelvis where you want to be with your upper body, and let's extend the arms out to the side. Finding here a warrior two. Look down the front fingers of that left hand. Practice the clarity of seeing. Seeing how I'm treating my body, how I'm embodying this posture, how much activity I'm bringing it to, or how lessening of activity that's right for me right now. One more breath. Good. Now we're going to start to bend the left elbow and bring that down to your left knee. And then we're going to take this right arm and either just put on the back of the head and extend the side body, or lift that right arm up and overhead and find our side angle here. Breathe. Adjust the feet, adjust the spine as needed, but finding a side angle here in our chair. One more breath. Clarity. And then we're going to start to bring that right arm down. Use your left elbow to help bring your body up. Good. And we're just going to now find briefly a warrior one. So for me, it helps me to use my hands on the chair seat. And I'm going to just adjust. I bring my sit bone a little bit farther on the chair. And then I come up onto the toes of my back leg. My knee doesn't straighten all the way. I keep a light bend in that knee. And then here's where you can choose. Possibly for your body, it's better for you to lean a little forward and keep your hands on that front knee. Or if your body appreciates back bending anymore, maybe use those arms to straighten up a little bit higher. And then third stage could possibly be bringing the arms up overhead like the final posture of warrior one. Hold it for 2 more breaths. And then gently we'll start to release back and down. I like to use my hand on that left leg and then my right hand on the chair, and I'm going to start to turn back forward again. Good. So right here, we're not doing a yoga push-up, but what we are going to do is we are going to just do a couple cat-cows. So arching the spine, drawing the sit bones under, drawing the navel towards the spine, dropping the head. And then on the opposite, using the arms to maybe pull on the knees a little bit, lift through the heart. And move back and forth through this as fast or as slow as you want to do, maybe 3 times in total. You do this with the seniors, and there's one of these guys of the seniors that just loves this and gets really loud. And we met him at the local store the other day, and he thought I didn't know who he was. He goes, cat cow. All right. So now here we're going to switch to the other side. So this time your right leg is going to be the one that's going to come out to the side. Your right sit bone will stay on the chair, and then adjusting that position of your left leg, again, finding for your body how this can work for you in your chair today. All right. And then again with this, my body is at an angle. I'm not purely in the same lines as the chair, so I'm going to extend my arms out in that angle as well. and finding warrior two to this side. Again, here in this position, find your clarity. What activity, what practice brings you into that connection and clarity right now? How much activity do you want to be in? Where do you want to relax that? What's best in this moment? Good. And now we're going to come into side angle. So we're going to start to soften that right elbow onto the leg. And again, make any adjustments to that back leg as needed. And then that left arm, maybe the hand on the back of the head or on the hip, or extended all the way up. And then we reach through that back foot. We lift up through the fingertips, trying to breathe into this beautiful opening on this left side. Clarity. One more breath. And then as you're ready, we're going to start to bring that arm down. And then here's where, if it's comfortable for your body, we're going to shift into a warrior one with the chair. So again, hands come to my chair, and I shift this hip. For some reason, it helps me to bring my sit bones back onto the chair seat a little bit further. And then lift up the back heel. And again, you can lean your body forward. This back bend is a little too intense for your body. Lean forward and just use your hands on that leg to find the right measure for you. Maybe with clarity, I can use and start to use my arms to straighten up my upper body, or possibly lift the arms up if that's the comfortable warrior one that clearly is for you today on this side. Breathing into this for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. And when you're ready to release out of this posture, bringing both hands back to that leg if they've been up, and just starting to relax, pull that left leg back in a little bit, bend in the knees as it helps, and bring your body back forward. And again, with hands on the knees, we're going to do a couple cat-cows. So you all know this, use your breath, use the pace that feels right for you in this. And once again, we're going to come into that forward bend. After you've finished your last cat-cow, possibly with the blocks, take for a moment and start to extend your body, possibly staying with elbows on the knees, possibly bringing hands down towards the blocks, possibly coming with hands down towards the ground, relaxing maybe the neck and the head, taking this moment to come inside and once again connect with that clarity. And it is that it's your time to start to come back up, possibly hands either onto your blocks or onto your knees. And use that to gently bring yourself on up. And we're going to, just for a moment, lift the arms, keep your body leaning lightly forward, and possibly either hands here or lifting forward, a chair pose in the chair. Strengthen through that back body. One more breath. Now root into your feet and start to come up into Urdhva Asasana, lengthening spine, lengthening up through the arms. And we're just going to very gently take it over to one side, a little side, back to center, to the other side, back to center. Now once again, a light twist, taking a breath to twist towards one side, hold for a breath, back through center, to the other side, hold for a breath, back through center, draw the hands down to the heart, and check in once again. Body, mind, breath, and energy. Whenever you're ready, just relaxing your hands either onto your legs or at your sides. Gently opening the eyes. How was that?
Good.
All right. So these are great practices. Again, like when I'm in an airport and, I don't want to get down on the ground because the carpet's sketchy or whatever. I'm not going to do a sun salutation on the ground, but I can do a sun salutation at the airport and not look like I'm too much of a crazy person. I'd even do some of these things sitting in my seat on the airplane. Depends on how much crowded you're next to. Or again, the ones on the ground. Like I said, the last couple of days, my leg has been bothering me so much that standing and even sometimes sitting, sometimes bending my knee. Today it's not too bad, but even staying in a bent knee position in a chair sometimes has been aggravating this leg. So there's all different ways that we can find to bring ourselves into yoga. I'm gonna, if you want to stay in the chair, you obviously can stay in the chair. But if you want, we're gonna get down onto the ground and start to move towards Shavasana. So have your tools for Shavasana handy. If you like that. Can I have a second? Absolutely. Yep.
The sun's coming out.
Yep. It was so cloudy this morning. I thought we were gonna have to work. All right. As you get yourself down and onto the ground, again, what I encourage you to do is just feel in your body with that clarity and find out if your body wants you to do another twist, if it wants you to do a couple light bridge poses or a restorative bridge pose. Is it still on?
It's still on. You can turn it off and you can wait. It's there. It may not even come.
Listen to what your body needs.
Needs a massage.
Needs a massage, Debbie says. Awesome.
Yes.
Self-massage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's also really, never mind. I'm not going to. All right. So if you are ready to right away take yourself into Shavasana, start to get your body comfortable with the tools that you want. If you want to do any twisting or anything like that, please do so.
So you can breathe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's chilly this morning. Chilly. It's relative. For us, it's up.
Do you want the also? And do you want to cover? All right. Find and start to feel as you get your body back here onto Mother Earth.
Yes.
The sense of the places in your body where you touch the earth feel super supported and comfortable. Especially in that sacrum, in the shoulder blades, in the back of your head, and your heels. Let yourself do any wiggles to feel that all those places are really well grounded. Invite a couple nice full breaths. Start to feel that your exhales are contributing to your body relaxing. That we now have this chance that your exhales are able to soften, to bring about relaxation And we're going to start that today up here in the head. So first, just take a couple exhales and really soften your jaw. Soften the mouth. Soften the eyes. Soften the ears, the forehead, and the brain. Just as much as you've been working with this practice of clarity, let yourself now feel the clarity of release from the brain softening, and just inviting yourself now to feel your breath as if it's calming down and coming through your body like this beautiful fresh spring water coming into the throat and shoulders. And the exhales, it's like that water is dripping off of you, taking away all tension, tiredness, anything that is not of ease and ease. Softening in the neck, the throat, the shoulders. Imagine your breath like that beautiful stream running down through your arms, all the way to your fingertips. And your exhales soften the arms from the top of the arms through the middle part or lower arms, through the hands and the fingertips. And the water just flows off of your fingers, taking all tension and tiredness. Shoulders and arms soft, relaxed. Now invite that breath and that imagery of the water to flow through the chest, upper back, middle back, lower back. Again, the breath being the vehicle to soften with the exhales in the chest and the upper back, in the rib cage and the mid back, in the abdomen and the low back. Water flowing through those areas, taking with it tension and tiredness. Now let that breath, that beautiful flowing water, fill the hips all the way down through the legs to the toes. And big exhales, feel the flow of water release tiredness and tension from the pelvis and the hips. Releasing from the upper legs, the thighs. Releasing from the lower legs. And finally releasing through the feet and the toes. And perhaps for the next few breaths, either feeling or picturing you under a waterfall and that water coming through the crown of your head and just flowing all the way through your body, down through your feet, continuing to help you release all that stands in the way of being relaxed and clear. Flowing of breath, flowing of water. And having found that release and that clarity, now bring that feeling of clarity into the heart. That place of connection to your wisdom. And invite yourself to rest there in this peaceful, flowing state for the next 4 minutes. Bhurbhuva Svaha Tatsavitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Yo Na Prachodaya. Om. Give yourself a moment to come back to feeling your breath and deepening it lightly. Gently giving yourself the time to move lightly when you're ready. Stretch yourself out to eventually come over onto the side that's comfortable. And then taking your time to return back up into a seated position. I'm just going to be here for a moment. And once you are back up, just noticing again the state of all of your being, of all those layers. This practice of clarity and what effects it might have had for you. Whenever it is that you're ready, bringing your hands back together to the heart, lightly bowing to honor all you are and all you experience. And we continue to find the ways in which we can be clear and bring this light to ourselves and to all others. Close with a final uchara Om, followed by Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Exhaling and inhaling. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace. Thank you for your practice.